Warning! This video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a Mad Max. And this one is going to be about Kathleen Kennedy again. I really think she's fired. I really believe it. I think if all the articles, all the attacking fans, even more and more, it just proves that it's going to happen. She's going to be stepping down in September. But this question is, should George come back? Is he coming back? Should he? Should we want him to? So that's what we're talking about. And sorry, this video is going to be all over the place. I put this together really quick. It's actually a topic I've been thinking about a long time. It's about the cliques at Lucasfilm and how we got to this point. I wanted to give it a more thorough examination, but I also wanted to get a video ready and prepared for you viewers because I'm going to be out of town again with family stuff. So bear that in mind, but it's a worthy topic, and I would love to hear your opinions. So Kathleen Kennedy fired and replaced with George Lucas. Could it ever happen? After posing that question to you viewers, I also want to give an update on George Lucas' strong message to Kathy after Solo, one of my most popular vids, and one that I got the most heat on. And he still hasn't said a word. I got a lot of heat on that. Wait for him, or George silence is approval. No, he's not bailing her out of the fire anymore. It's a big step. The creator of Star Wars is not going to comment after all that junk. And after all the articles that they tried to push that said, you could say he's directing again when he gave contributions to this one small scene. That's all they let him near the Star Wars movies since Disney took over. And it's BS. It's baloney. They're trying to use him, and he's not going to let them. I really believe it. I think the bridges are burned, and he is not helping her. Because she's done. He still hasn't stepped in to save her. And that's how we got to this point, in my opinion. This is where we're going to dive deep into speculation, and it's going to talk about the cliques at Lucasfilm, and the clique that Kathy was in, and how she chose wrong. Lucas, Kasdan, and Kennedy. You see, in my opinion, it was George Lucas's vision and fun, but it also was coupled with talented employees that got us the real magic with the original trilogy, and great actors, Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher. Without one of with one of those elements, it wouldn't have worked. And that's why it's not working now. Now, over the years, George has taken more and more abuse, so much that he sold his children to white slavers, Disney. And I really believe that's an accurate description of what we're getting now. Really, it's more the case more now than ever. If they would have focused on just the sequel trilogy without trying to shoehorn one movie or two movies in a year, I think even one movie is too much. I really think they should have focused and got the sequel trilogy right with Luke, Han, and Leia, and then I think Star Wars fans would be lining up at every release. They should have gone slow and got it right. If they trashed his outline, they should have had a plan, and it's obvious they didn't. I actually, in my opinion, believe that people that like The Last Jedi, it's your right to, but I believe you're failing for marketing tactics. Because when they say subverting expectations, bold new direction, I think that's an excuse and a marketing ploy for plot holes and not connecting 7 and 8 so they could just film and have something to release. The productions were almost being developed simultaneously, and that's how we got to this mess. And that mainly falls on Kathy. So that's my opinion. I don't think if you like The Last Jedi, you're just falling for marketing and you're in denial. That's my opinion. Just like any job, group of friends, or people, cliques form. And the prequels became more commonly panned by critics and the public. The cliques at Lucasfilm got stronger and more divisive. It seems like there's a Lucas group And that, I think Dave Filoni is fully in on the Lucas group. He really should be given his shot. And then a Kasdan group. There was even a movie, The People versus George Lucas. All the prequels would be more collaboration, and they would have been amazing. So my speculation is that the divide at Lucasfilm became greater after the prequels. And based on John Kasdan's attitude and arrogance, and I get a lot of this speculation based on how he responds to fans and how arrogant he is. That doesn't come out of thin air. Lawrence, I think it came from his father. Now he's kind of quiet in interviews. He does his thing. But he has a little bit of air of arrogance too. It doesn't come from anywhere. Nowhere, I mean. Now Lawrence Kasdan is talented, but Kasdan's writing without George's vision is boring and a shell of what it was. And that's what we're getting with Kathy and Disney Star Wars. A shell of what it was. George brought the fun. He helped. Now, he had talented artists, but he drove the vision. Create all those characters, action sequences with new vehicles, set pieces, fun. Ewoks are fun to me. I always liked the Ewoks. And we're missing the fun. It's dull, boring, and copycat. There's no new amazing vehicles and set pieces and action sequences. It's depressing and boring. A shell of what it was. George brought the fun. He needed to be focused. He probably has too many ideas. That's why he gets so much criticism on constantly altering this original trilogy. I think his ideas don't stop. It's like a curse. I'm sure he's being tortured right now with the lack of creativity with Disney Star Wars. There's no creativity, no focus, no fun. Kasdan's writing focused George's vision, but it also was Irvin Kershner's directing on Empire and Richard Marquand with The Return of the Last Jedi. That was the magic formula, a collaboration. We don't have collaboration anymore. And I feel the growing consensus with the cliques at Lucasfilm that Lawrence Kasdan deserved more acclaim for the original trilogy, and less focus went into George, and more criticism of him. And George's vision would lead to more prequel failure. Remember when that initial interview, George said he had a treasure trove of material for Star Wars that he handed over. And they're not using it. He handed it over to Kathy and Disney. And the first thing she did was trash it. But she kept everything Kasdan worked on. That is very telling. And why did she do that? Trash everything George, but keep Kasdan. And I think that's because she's firmly into the Kasdan clique, and she went wrong. It wasn't Kasdan, it wasn't George, it was the combination along with talented actors. And I just keep going back to the prequels. I like the prequels, but if there was another director, a co-director, they could have been amazing. She trashed it, and she kept everything Kasdan worked on, even employing his unqualified son. And I think he is unqualified to work on such big characters. And he's being groomed by nepotism. Kathy was preparing for a Kasdan Star Wars Disney universe with nothing left of George, not even as a consultant, which she lied about. She says, I'm going to keep you around like Yoda. What disrespect to the creator of Star Wars. So, back to the initial question. I believe Kathy is fired. So when I say fired, I believe it happened already. They're just letting her save face, finish the trilogy, because they don't want to delay the trilogy. They don't want to announce it. They don't want to delay 9. I'm sorry. They don't want to delay it. They want it in theaters. They need it in theaters. And by announcing the replacement now, It would cause confusion. People would want changes, and they're not. There's changes that are happening, but they're not going to delay 9 because Disney is greedy and they want that money. They should get it right, but they're not going to. 7, 8, 9 are a lost cause. We can only hope for the future. So, but now, would George replace her? I don't think so. Could he come back as a consultant? Possibly. But I don't even know if we want it. I have questions for you viewers now. Would you even want George to come back? A lot of viewers have been saying, yeah, get George back, get George back. I think it's too late. I think he should have been involved with the sequel trilogy, but now it's too late. And repairing the mess shouldn't be his job. What good would it do now? The damage is done, and it would be too painful. He had a plan for Luke, Leia, and Han. He was planning for years. The opportunity is lost. We will never get it back. Harrison doesn't want it. Carrie is gone. And the experience for Mark Hamill was so damaging that Ryan got what he wanted. I think Mark Hamill now more resembles Jake Skywalker in real life. And Mark Hamill was a joy before all this mess. He was a hope to fandom and fans and being a legit optimistic person. And he's not that anymore. At least not about Star Wars. I don't think he's optimistic about Star Wars. I'm not. I know you viewers aren't. So he actually resembles Jake Skywalker. He no longer has hope. And he was the new hope. Hope is how we got here. So, if I heard George was going to be a consultant, well, anything that they officially announced that she's done, and it's not going to be fired, but believe it, she's fired. But the official announcement, anything that she's going to be done is done, I'll be happy. But I'll also have mixed feelings if they say George is coming back to be a consultant. I don't want him wasting his final years trying to fix this mess. I have hopes that it will get better for Star Wars, but Luke in the Skywalker saga is where we needed George as a consultant. And it's a shame it didn't happen, but it's already gone. The time is gone. So I wish him George the best, living his life with his family. I don't think it's worth it to come back. As sad as that to say. But I would love to hear your viewpoint. Maybe you can convince me otherwise. Comment below. Sorry this was a little rushed. I wanted to get something prepared for when I'm away for the weekend. Because I'm leaving tomorrow as soon as I get out of work. So, my real job. This isn't my job. This is therapy talking to you fans, Star Wars fans and viewers. So, this is my therapy. This is what I like doing. This is not my job. And I have a lot of other stuff going on. But I appreciate your comments. I will reply to as many as I can, even if it takes a few days. So don't hesitate. I want to read your comments. See you in the next one. And the Force of Fandom is coming back next week. But I can only cover one topic, so this qualified more as a hot topic. See you later, guys. Have a good one.